Hello guys, my name is Khan, and actually in this video we will mainly discuss the date format. When you will be dealing with a variable which is in date, so you have to be a bit careful that variable while using that variable in Google Data Studio. So for this video I will be using this hypothetical data about the US Census, and within that US census that you will see that we have country. The country remains US because we are just dealing with USA. There are just 51 rows in my data. And then we have state variable, state 2. I have used the similar data set in my previous video too. And then we have a date variable. So you can see here the date is in a day, month and year format, whereas I have another variable date too, which is having the same date but a bit in different formats, so year, month and day. So I will use this data set. We will try to plot some time series graph, and then we will discuss that what's happening and is it dealing the date rightly or not. So let's go towards the Google Data Studio. So this is the Google Data Studio. I will start with a blank report. So I will quickly name my report as, because this video is about date format, so I will just name it as date format. So the first thing, as usual, I will need a new data source. The data source is coming from my drive, so let's take upload file, go to my PC. I will select the file. It's here, Studio, and then I will select. I'm using date format folder. So this is the same folder which I have shown you guys in this CSV file. Go back, select it, open. As you can see, it's uploading my files. Once the processing will get complete, I will connect that data sets to my report. So let's say connect. So yes, add to the report, add to report. So everything is set. Now I can start making my graph. So let's see if I insert a time series plot. So so you can see that Google Data Studio have generated one time series graph, and you can see that automatically it have decided that date and date 2 are the date variables. But the point to note here is that on our x-axis is showing that our data is starting from 31st December 1993 till about 22 December 1994. But let's see in our data what are the dates telling us. So this is the same dataset that I have uploaded into Google Data Studio. As you can see that the dates are starting from 31st December 1993, whereas it's also showing the same. But let's see if I scroll down. As you can see that there are two statuses, status poor, the states are poor. If I scroll down, you can see that we have just 1 month data. So you can see here it's 29th first, which, and after that we have 29 1 31 1994. This is the second month going on, so we have about 2 months of data only. But if we look at that graph, which is based on this date variable, but in the graph we can see that there are observations going till the 15th October 1994. This is happening because Google Data Studio have wrongly identified the date variable. The date variable is actually capturing the date, but the format is different. In Google Data Studio, the built-in format required for the date is year, month, day, which is correct for date 2. And even if I go to edit my US Census data, and if I say, let's see, So let's see, if I go to my date variable, which is here, you can see it's considering it as year, month and date, whereas in my data the format is day, month and year. That's why it's wrongly identified the date variable in a wrong format, and that's why our graph is wrong. So that's why whenever you have a date variable in your data set, make sure that that date variable is in year, month and day format. Otherwise, if you do any analysis based on that date variable, that will be wrong. So again, I'm saying be very careful whenever you are dealing with the date variable. In Google Data Studio, your date format should be year, month and day. Now if I look back for day 2, here is showing that the date is in year, month and day, which is right. So let's see if we generate this graph based on day 2, whereas in day 2 we have days starting from 31st of December 1993 till, for poor it's just January 28, and again for the rich it's starting from 1993 December 31st till, so it's just, we have just about 1 month of data, one or 1.5 month of data. So let's see, if I go as a finished, and now instead of using date, I will use day 2 variable, which is in the right format according to the Google Data Studio. So I will replace it by day 2, and within time dimension I also replace. So now you can see the date looks good. So it's starting from the 31st December and it's ending on about 28 January. You can see here in my data, if you look at here, for rich status, the maximum we reached is 12. So maximum we reached 20th January, whereas for poor we reach 28th, and that is shown in our data. But let's see, if you want to see this graph based on poor and rich states separately, you can simply do it by adding the status, which is a categorical variable, and capturing that the state is poor or rich. So you can just simply drag that variable into breakdown dimension. So as you can see now, the graph is showing us, before that it was combining the result of both poor and rich states for the given dates and summing it up and showing it to us. But now this is showing us for each date the different values based on if the state is poor or rich on the given day. So again, another thing that we can do is that we can add a filter control to our dashboard. Let's see if I add a filter control, because the second part of the video I will be also discussing how you can share your report. That's why I'm adding a filter control. So let's see if I add a filter control. I've added, I think, 2 filter control. I just want 1. So let's say this is my filter control, but the control I want to be based on region. It's not based on the country. So I'll select region. So let's go to view mode and let's see how it works. So in our region, the US have divided into 4 regions: South, West, North Central and Northeast. So let's see if I want to see only South region. So only South region. So my data got updated according to the South regions, and I will just select all. So I'm just showing you, I have also shown the filter controls in my previous video too, but I will show you guys that why I have generated this filter control and how it will be possible to, when you will share this report, how the filter control will work for your viewers. So let's do another thing. What I will do is also add another graph, which is the bar chart for this dashboard. And this dashboard, again, I don't want it based on dimension is country. I want it, suppose I want it again based on the status. So the dimension, make sure that whenever you use dimension means that the variable based on you want to categorize your graphs or your tables. So that's why if you put status here, the status have two categories in it, poor and rich. If the status variable have three categories, then you will probably see three bars in this graph. So again, the dimension variable, always select that variable which is a kind of a categorical variable. So this I have added two graphs, and I have added a filter control. Before that, I have told you guys that when you will be dealing with the date format, make sure that your date is in year, month, and date format in your data. Otherwise, the graph or analysis you will do in Google Data Studio, you will probably get an error. So suppose this is your this is your dashboard. I just created a very naive dashboard. So, but suppose if you want to share it with your colleagues, how you can share that thing with your colleagues? So you can see that here there is a add button, share this report. So if I click it, so there are two options. So if I click this thing, so you can write down the email address of any of your colleague or your friend with which you want to share this folder. You can write down the name, and there are different kind of authority you can give to your audience. So suppose if you click this down arrow, you can tell that he can edit. If he can edit, he can add new graph, add new data set, delete your data set that you have added, and if he can view only. So if you select the can view, so it means that he will be able to use this dashboard that is in the background, and he will be also able to use these filter controls. So for this dashboard, I have only used filter control, but you can also add date controls, data control. So if you have added all those filter or those control, even if the your colleague have only the view, can only the view this dashboard, but he can still use the can use this control or filters. So this is a bit way, but another way of sharing your report is if you see that you can also get shared by link. So if I click it by shared by link, so if you are sending this link to other people, you can, so even for here you can select that they can view only or they can also edit. So if you want that with whom you ever share this link can also edit, you can opt it, and there are many other options according to your need. You can do it. You can even make groupings so that you can share if you are working in a big company and you want to share in a bigger group, you can also use the grouping option. So if you want to share, you can play around with these options and with the share option, but it's very simple. So in order to share your report, you don't need to it's not necessary that you have to come into view mode to share your report. Even if you go to edit, you can still share your report. As you can see on your right corner, there is still an option to share the report. So again, in the while ending this video, I will conclude my video that whenever you deal with the date variable in your data, make sure that your date variable is in year, month, and date format. Otherwise, you may get errors while doing analysis or while making data visuals. Thank you for watching the video.